Welcome to Brainwaves. In this episode, we'll be exploring the fascinating history of copyright law. Copyright law is essential for protecting the rights of creators and ensuring they receive recognition and compensation for their work. Throughout history, copyright laws have evolved to keep up with changing technologies and societal needs. From the earliest forms of copyright protection to the digital era, let's dive into the key milestones that have shaped copyright law as we know it today. Welcome back. In this section, we will delve into the introduction of the Statute of Anne in 1710, the very first copyright law ever enacted. The Statute of Anne emerged as a response to the growing concerns over the unauthorized printing and distribution of books. Prior to this groundbreaking legislation, authors and publishers faced significant challenges in protecting their intellectual property rights. The enactment of the Statute of Anne marked a crucial turning point in the history of copyright law, introducing a legal framework to safeguard creative works and provide a limited period of protection for authors and publishers. Now, let's explore the key provisions and limited rights granted by the Statute of Anne. Under this groundbreaking law, authors and publishers were granted exclusive rights to print and publish their works for a specified period of time. This period was set at 14 years, with an option to renew for another 14 years if the author was still alive at the end of the initial term. These rights provided creators with the opportunity to monetize their works and ensure their creative endeavors were protected against unauthorized reproduction and distribution. The Statute of Anne laid the foundation for future copyright laws, establishing the principle that creators deserve the right to control and benefit from their own intellectual property. Now let's examine the impact and legacy of the Statute of Anne. This historic legislation revolutionized the landscape of copyright law and set the stage for the protection of creative works for centuries to come. By granting limited rights to authors and publishers, the Statute of Anne not only incentivized creative production but also fostered the growth of the publishing industry. It played a critical role in establishing the concept of intellectual property rights and laid the groundwork for subsequent copyright laws around the world. The Statute of Anne's emphasis on protecting creators' rights has left a lasting impact and continues to shape the foundations of modern copyright law. Welcome back. In this section, we will explore the background and context surrounding the Copyright Act of 1790. The United States, in its early years as an independent nation, recognized the need to protect the rights of authors and encourage the dissemination of knowledge and creativity. Prior to the enactment of this pioneering legislation, there was a lack of uniform copyright laws in the newly formed country, leading to inconsistencies in protecting literary works. The Copyright Act of 1790 aimed to address these issues by establishing the first federal copyright law in the United States, laying the foundation for future copyright legislation. Now, let's dive into the key features and provisions of the Copyright Act of 1790. This legislation introduced several important elements that shaped copyright law in the United States. One of the key features was the establishment of a fixed term of copyright protection, initially set at 14 years from the date of publication. Authors were granted exclusive rights to their works during this period, with the option to renew for an additional 14 years if they were still alive at the end of the initial term. These provisions aim to strike a balance between incentivizing creativity and allowing works to enter the public domain after a reasonable period. The Act also outlined the procedures for copyright registration and the penalties for infringement, setting the groundwork for an effective enforcement system. Now, let's explore the impact and evolution of the Copyright Act of 1790. This groundbreaking legislation laid the foundation for the development of copyright law in the United States. It provided authors with a legal framework to protect and monetize their creative works, fostering a vibrant culture of innovation and creativity. Over the years, the Act has undergone several amendments and revisions to keep pace with technological advancements and changing societal needs. It has expanded to cover various forms of artistic expression, from literature and music to visual arts and digital content. The Copyright Act of 1790 continues to shape copyright laws today, ensuring that creators are appropriately rewarded for their contributions to the cultural landscape. Welcome back. In this section, we will introduce you to the Berne Convention of 1886, a landmark international agreement in the field of copyright law. The Berne Convention aimed to establish minimum standards for copyright protection among its member countries, ensuring that creators' rights are recognized and respected worldwide. Named after the Swiss city where it was first adopted, the convention sought to address the challenges faced by authors and creators due to differences in copyright laws across nations. By promoting harmonization and mutual protection, the Berne Convention played a pivotal role in shaping the global landscape of copyright law. Now, let's explore the minimum standards and key provisions of the Berne Convention. The convention introduced several crucial principles to protect the rights of authors and creators. One of the key provisions is the principle of automatic copyright protection. Under the convention, copyright is granted automatically upon the creation of a work, without the need for registration or any formalities. This provision ensures that creators have immediate protection for their works, encouraging the free flow of ideas and creativity. The convention also established the principle of national treatment, which means that member countries must provide the same level of protection to foreign works as they do to works of their own citizens. This provision benefits authors and creators by ensuring their works receive equal treatment and protection across borders. Additionally, the convention introduced minimum standards for copyright duration, including the principle of the author's life plus a certain number of years, which now commonly serves as the standard for copyright terms in most countries. Now, let's explore the impact and global significance of the Berne Convention. Since its establishment, the convention has had a profound influence on the protection of copyright worldwide. By establishing minimum standards for copyright protection, it has provided a framework for creators to assert their rights and seek legal remedies in cases of infringement. The Berne Convention has fostered international cooperation and harmonization of copyright laws, making it easier for authors and creators to have their works recognized and protected in multiple countries. This has been particularly beneficial for creators in the digital age when works can easily be disseminated across borders. The global recognition and enforcement of copyright protection facilitated by the convention have helped to foster creativity, incentivize innovation, and ensure fair compensation for creators on a global scale. Welcome back. In this section, we will introduce you to the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, DMCA, of 1998. The DMCA is a significant update to copyright law that was enacted in response to the challenges posed by the digital age. As technology advanced and the Internet became a prominent platform for sharing and distributing creative works, new issues emerged related to digital piracy and online copyright infringement. The DMCA aimed to address these challenges by providing legal protections and establishing a framework for addressing copyright infringement in the digital realm. It sought to strike a balance between protecting the rights of creators and fostering innovation and access to information in the digital era. Now, let's explore the key provisions and changes brought about by the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, DMCA. One of the significant provisions of the DMCA is the creation of a safe harbor for online service providers. This provision offers some protection to Internet service providers, hosting platforms, and search engines from being held directly liable for the infringing actions of their users. However, to qualify for the safe harbor, these service providers must respond promptly to copyright infringement notices and meet certain requirements. The DMCA also introduced anti-circumvention provisions, making it illegal to bypass digital rights management, DRM, technologies used to protect copyrighted works. This provision aimed to control unauthorized access to copyrighted content in the digital realm. Additionally, the DMCA introduced provisions for online copyright takedown notices, allowing copyright owners to request the removal of infringing content from websites and online platforms. These provisions reflect the efforts to strike a balance between protecting copyright holders' rights and respecting the evolving nature of digital technology. Now, let's explore the impact of the DMCA and the continuing debates surrounding it. The DMCA has had a profound impact on copyright enforcement in the digital sphere. It has provided copyright holders with tools to protect their works and take action against online infringement. The introduction of the notice and takedown system has facilitated the removal of infringing content from websites and online platforms, making it easier for copyright owners to assert their rights. On the other hand, the DMCA has also faced criticism and ongoing debates. Some argue that the safe harbor provisions have provided a shield for online platforms that profit from user-generated content without adequately addressing copyright infringement. There are concerns about the effectiveness of the DMCA in successfully tackling the rapid spread of pirated content online. The DMCA has also been criticized for its impact on fair use, as the anti-circumvention provisions limit the ability to make transformative works. These debates continue to shape the discourse surrounding copyright law and the balance between copyright protection and individual freedom in the digital age. Welcome back. In this section, we will introduce you to the Copyright Directive of 2019. This directive is an EU law that aims to modernize copyright rules in the digital age. As technological advancements have transformed the way we consume and share creative works, it became necessary to update copyright regulations to address emerging challenges and ensure fair compensation for creators. The Copyright Directive includes provisions that have significant implications for online platforms, copyright exceptions, and enforcement mechanisms. It seeks to strike a balance between protecting the rights of creators and fostering innovation and access to cultural content in the digital era. Now, let's explore the key provisions and changes brought about by the Copyright Directive. One of the significant provisions is Article 17, formerly known as Article 13, which addresses the liability of online platforms for copyright infringement. It places greater responsibility on platforms to obtain licenses for copyrighted content and take measures to prevent unauthorized sharing. This provision has sparked debates about its potential impact on freedom of expression and the ability of smaller platforms to comply with the requirements. The Copyright Directive also introduces new copyright exceptions, such as text and data mining for scientific research purposes and the use of copyrighted material for educational and cultural heritage preservation. These exceptions aim to facilitate innovation, research, and access to knowledge. Additionally, the directive strengthens rights for authors and performers by introducing measures to ensure fair and proportionate remuneration. It places an emphasis on creating better negotiation conditions between creators and publishers or producers. These provisions represent a significant update to copyright rules, seeking to address the unique challenges and opportunities presented by the digital age. Now, let's explore the impact and controversies surrounding the Copyright Directive. The directive has had a significant impact on various stakeholders in the digital landscape, including content creators, online platforms, and Internet users. On one hand, it aims to provide better protection for copyrighted works in the digital era and ensure that creators receive fair compensation for their creations. It also seeks to address the challenges posed by the widespread availability of unauthorized content on online platforms. However, the directive has sparked intense debates and controversies. Critics argue that some of its provisions may have unintended consequences, such as potential limitations on user-generated content and the use of automated content filtering systems. Critics are concerned about the potential for overblocking legitimate content or hindering freedom of expression. These debates highlight the complex balancing act between copyright protection, freedom of expression, and the openness of the Internet. As the Copyright Directive continues to be implemented across EU member states, its impact and controversies will shape the future of copyright law in the digital age. And that brings us to the end of our journey through the history of copyright law. From the early days of limited rights for authors and publishers to the modern digital age, copyright law has played a crucial role in protecting creative works and fostering innovation. It has evolved over time to address the challenges posed by new technologies and changing societal needs. Today, copyright law continues to be a subject of debate and adaptation as the world of creativity and intellectual property constantly evolves. Whether it's in books, music, art, or digital content, copyright law is instrumental in ensuring that creators have the rights and incentives to continue producing meaningful and impactful works. We hope you enjoyed this exploration of the history of copyright law. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Brainwaves for more informative videos on a wide range of topics. Thank you for watching.